Hey guys, what's up? So we're here today to talk about this weird rocker. So this is the normal setup. This is again the Cityblades 2, my beloved Cityblades 2. Compass wheels, of course. I have a 72 in front that's rockered down. These are 80s, and then this is an 80 and it's rockered up. So effectively, that is a 4mm rocker in the front and a 2mm rocker in the back. It's a little bit more in the back because when I rotate, I usually take the smallest wheel and throw it in the back. So motivation for this, those of you that do moves, I'm sure you're aware that the toughest thing about it is a lot of times getting over this heel wheel. So it's very easy to get on the toe, and anatomically that makes sense. It's very easy to take your foot and flex it down. You can flex it down quite a bit. However, when you're doing back moves, your foot only flexes up so much. And then another thing that sort of exacerbates this problem is that 165 mount frames aren't exactly center mounted. So the heel usually comes the same, it's very similar heel placement on most boots. But the toe kind of changes from size to size. So what this ends up doing is, this is a size 41. And if you see, this toe is a lot more in than this heel. And I think skate manufacturers probably do this because falling backwards is very dangerous. However, for those of us that are, trying to do fancy things and we're well in control of our skates, it can be a bit problematic sometimes. So enter this rocker. So what I have here is there are two 80s in the back. These are some MPC Black Magics. I have a 76 revision something hockey wheel, and then a little Labeta Asphalt 68 in the front that's rockered up. So it's a bit weird, right? But the idea is, because this one's an 80 and this one's a 76, it gives it a little bit of a forward lean. And with that forward lean, this back one's still going to come up 2mm. And with the 68 rockered up, this one's still going to come up 4. So effectively what I have is the same rocker that I have on my other skates, plus a bit of a forward lean. The logic is, if you start with your foot in more of a down position, then it'll give you more range of motion to get on your heel. So yeah, this is just something I wanted to try out. I think experimenting is one of the most fun parts of rollerblading, whether it's experimenting with, different tricks or moves or something like that, experimenting with hardware, it's all fun. I love going out and skating and trying something new. That's one of the things that I think brings me the most joy about it. Skating in general, as an athletic activity, it's definitely one of the most creative ones. And within that, there's all these little sub-paths of creativity that you can go down. And I love them all. So yeah, I took some video. Let's check it out. Okay, so here I am at this parking garage that is usually packed, but thanks to coronavirus, it is empty 100% of the time. It's fantastic. And I'm just sort of going through with my normal setup on some stock warm-up, 1 foot turns on a circle. So I started out with right foot inside 3 turns, and I'm going to outside. And with outside, I like throwing this little, it's 3 turn into double 3 turn at the end, just because I really like it. It's a fun thing to do. What can I say? Okay, now working on the other side. You guys may have noticed I took a few months off, had to do some career type things, and it's a little bit frustrating because right before I started taking time off, my left side was really getting comfortable and I would say up to par with my right side. But since I came back, I don't want to say it's back to square one, but a lot of the work that I did was undone. So lesson learned, don't take time off ever. Quite making around on that little 3 turn to double 3 thing. It's okay. I'm gonna have to keep practicing that. And here's just some 4 double 3 turns. Like I said, I wasn't really happy with the left side ones in the last one, so it took a minute to practice them. Might as well get them both sides, right? Okay, so here we're going into brackets. Brackets are like 3 turns, except you spin the opposite direction. It's a bit of a mind freak the first time you do one. They're kind of scary to learn. Once you get them down though, they're not really too bad. I will extend a word of caution to those of you that are, well, if you want to try these moves, if you're on some big wheel frames, like some 90s, 100s, something like that, especially if your feet aren't that big, be very careful because with these, well, okay, so backtrack. With 3 turns, it's really easy to use your momentum to sort of skid through the transition and, you know, do it that way. So if you have some bigger wheels or something like that, if you get enough, you know, torque in there, you can just slide your wheels through and it's no big deal. Brackets, you absolutely cannot do that. That is not going to work. You have to get up on your toe wheel to make these things work. So with those longer frames, the further your front wheel extends past your toe, the more difficult it's going to be. So again, if you're riding 100mm wheels, something like that, just be really careful and make sure you get enough lift. I can't tell you how many times I've bruised the crap out of my hip doing these things. Okay, so now we're going into some outside double threes, and I mentioned I took a little bit of time off. Since coming back, these have kind of been the bane of my existence. Every time that I've fallen on skates, it's been on one of these 3 things. The funny thing is, like, towards the end of this, I sort of remember the trick to them, which is to just really nail that first outside edge, and that really gives you the momentum you need, and like well, it whips you around to a good inside edge, which then again whips you around to a good outside edge. But yeah, I had to fall quite a number of times to remember that. Alright, now we're swapping out the wheels. I should went this fast in real life. That would be quite convenient. Kept looking over my shoulder because there was a homeless dude walking around and I was a little bit paranoid. Not that, you know, I have anything against homeless or anything like that, but, you know, I was sitting there with a camera and expensive skates and stuff like that, and I don't know, man. Sometimes your mom just gets in your head. There's a completed setup. It's quite ugly, isn't it? These wheels, I had them laying around, so get what you get. So, as you can see, just sort of getting comfortable on these at first. Like, it was quite a different feeling. I didn't expect it to be this drastically different because it's only, you know, effectively, what, a 2mm forward lean, but it was quite different. Especially going into tricks, like these entry edges are just, they're so sketchy. Yeah, I was not really having a good time on these first few. Once we get to the outside though, you notice, so those entry edges are absolute trash, and the actual move itself, meh at best. But oh my god, those freaking exit edges. Look at that, that is so good. That's like an ice quality exit edge. Like, no worries about grip whatsoever. Like, everything just stays exactly where you want it to. It felt good. It was, I hate to say this, it was so good that a lot of these things I'm seeing that I don't necessarily like, I know it's just because I wasn't used to trusting my edges like that. Like, I would expect them to slide in a way that I've been predicting them to slide in a very long time. You know, just little skids here and there. But they weren't. They were just gripping the ground and just handling the thing. I was really scared about trying these brackets on this setup because, like I said, you really have to get over that toe wheel. And my entry edges were, again, like, not great. But again, that exit edge, oh my god, it's so good. Oh, okay. So what is going on here? Is there something worth keeping in here? Maybe not. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, first of all, again, these are hideous. So, you know, if I'm going to maintain this, I'm going to have to figure out some different wheels. I can't have my skates looking like this. I think the exit edge quality, well, let's start with the bad first. So the entry edge quality, I didn't expect it to be that different because, again, effectively, it's just like a 2mm forward lean. But, again, it's sort of that teeter-totter or seesaw effect where, you know, 2mm in one spot, by the time it gets to the end of your foot, like, that ends up being quite a bit. And, you know, just that really forward skating position like that, it makes it really hard to put your weight where it needs to go in order to get that good edge quality. And again, this is different than having a higher heel. I can handle a higher heel, but when your actual foot is forward like that, it just doesn't work out. Another thing that I thought about is because these are not rockered, and they're the same size. So I'm normally skating, like these are my default two, right? But then when I come back to straight up and down, like these two are down. So a lot of like your good default skating positions, you know, either a little bit forward or straight up and down, like you're gonna have some good wheel contact, you know. So again, coming back to those exit edges, it was absolutely fantastic. I don't think this rocker is something that I'm gonna keep. And I have a theory. Again, this is another theory thing I'm gonna have to go check out. But these MPC wheels, I was skating these right before I got on Compass, and I forgot just how absolutely godlike these wheels are. For those of you that don't know about these wheels, they're a dual durometer. So this outside urethane is about an 86A, and there's a thin ring of extremely soft urethane in the inside. Like I would not even venture a guess as to how soft it is, but it's very, very, very squishy. What that does is it allows the wheel to flex, and you can't really see it. I mean, it takes like the weight of a human being to make it really happen and noticeable. But when that wheel flexes, it just gets more urethane in contact with the ground, and again, the grip becomes absolutely godlike. Like there's no, it's unparalleled. I've never skated another wheel that gave me the grip I was looking for the way that these wheels do. And I just miss it, you know what I'm saying? Like it was a really good feeling. Like Compass wheels are great. I think especially for majority of users, especially here in the United States, when people just want to like jump off things and slide off the ground on their big wheels, you know, sort of like the aggressive skate approach to big wheel skating. Those wheels are pretty ideal. I think that they're better for jumps than your stock hydrogen wheel, something like that. I think they're better for slides than hydrogen wheels. And honestly, oddly enough, they kind of grip a little bit better too. It's this weird, I don't know how it's possible for something to grip better and slide better at the same time, but it's the profile. It's got to be the profile. But for that absolutely stellar edge quality that just feels good, looks good, leaves no doubt in your mind that you have the traction you need in order to keep the edge that you want, Compass wheels leave a little bit to be desired. And again, like don't get it twisted. For edge quality, hydrogen wheels leave a little bit to be desired. Seba Street Invaders leave a little bit to be desired. Undercover wheels leave a bit to be desired. Gyro wheels leave a bit to be desired. You can just go down the list, like every single poor wheel, regardless of how hard or soft it is, leaves a bit to be desired as far as edge quality. And the sole reason that these MPC are the exception is because of the dual durometer and the fact that it allows the wheel to flex. So, sort of interesting. I learned what I set out to, which is whether or not this stock cityblades rocker plus the HiLo was for me. Absolutely is not. The entry edge quality is just not good. I don't like leaning forward that much, especially with this big rocker on the front. The tendency to go onto the toe wheel is just too much, and I like the toe wheel reserved for when I'm trying to go on the toe wheel. I don't want to go there by accident. But I also learned that these dual durometer wheels are almost a must-have for anybody that does freestyle-y, figure skatey, slalom-y type things. They're very expensive. They're 100% worth it. It comes back to that point as rollerbladers, we're really spoiled. Like, if you look at ice skating, like, is sharpening a blade that expensive? No, you probably spend more on wheels than you would on sharpening a blades. But that's leaving out the fact that you have to buy blades first. And a good quality blade will run you about $400. So again, comparatively, like wheels are so cheap, it doesn't make sense to not get good wheels. This puts me in a bit of a predicament though, because the rocker I want isn't possible with just like these MPC wheels. These MPC Black Magics, they come in 80 and above. So what am I going to do about the front? You know, the smallest that I can get away with in the front would be a 76 rockered up, and they don't make a 76. I could jump up to 84s, but then my frames are longer, and that just screws with like everything else. And even if I did MPC, 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 and then a different one in front, the profiles aren't going to match, and that's going to throw me off. You know, so I hate to say it, but I'm at a point right now where it's like the wheels that I need to exist don't exist. So I'm going to work on that. Maybe if you're into this kind of stuff, just bug law about it. Be like, hey man, help them out. Make some of these wheels. They need to exist. All right, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned some things. I hope you had fun watching it. And like and subscribe if you haven't already and you feel like you want to. And if not, then don't. See you later.